Okay, I'm going to divulge some secrets here. I'm going to divulge the secret of how you catch big trout. When I say big trout, I'm talking about fish 4 or 5 pounds and larger. So it comes down to 3 things really, and the first one is the water. The second one is the fish, and the third one is the odds. And we'll go through each one of those. Now first, to catch say a 10-pound trout, you have to fish in water where there's a chance that there would be a 10-pound trout. So that requires a few things. One of the things required is that there's food enough, that the lake is fertile enough to grow a fish to that size. So you have to have a very productive lake with good food, good forage for the fish. The other thing you need at the lake, it either has to be extremely remote so it doesn't get fished much, or it should be an and/or. The regulations have to be set up to promote the survival of fish to the point where they can get to that size. So either catch and release, slot limits, selective regulations that, where the minimum size is like 16 or 20 inches that allow them to get at least that far. If they can get that far and survive, there's a chance they could grow to 10 pounds or over 5 pounds. The other thing is the fish themselves. And when I say the fish themselves, it's like you have to understand the fish that you're going for. So to understand the fish, you have to understand the water. What are they likely to be eating? The thing about bigger fish is, I have caught 7 and 8 pound fish on size 16 hare's ears before, but that's not the norm. If you want to up your odds, big fish are looking for bigger meals. There come times when there are hatches that they can't resist, and you'll be able to take them on something other than a streamer. Green drake hatch is one of those. There are other hatches where that might be the result, where there's just so much food that they just can't ignore that, and it's easy picking. So they'll feed. Big fish got to eat. So you have to understand that. You have to understand your water. The biggest thing you'll need to do is you'll need to research. You'll have to dig into where big fish are found, where people have caught them before, where they're known to be. There are some of these waters that are deep, dark secrets and will remain that way by some people, but there are others where people will talk. In Oregon, there's East Lake, and it's known to have brown trout to 30 pounds. Davis Lake in Oregon has rainbows up to around 12. There are other places. If you do your research, you'll find out the where, and you'll kind of start to learn the when. And then I always advise people when they're doing something like this, where you're traveling somewhere for an adventure like this, and you've got a target of hitting big fish, to hit the local fly shop and get some information from them. It's important that when you're researching that you find out when to be there, because not all days are created equal. Usually spring and fall are the prime times for hitting big fish. But, there may be certain activities like a hexagenia hatch or something like that that's going on that bring all the big fish up. And it'd be nice to know when to come for that. So, like I said, do your research. Okay, the other thing is odds. The odds of a fish getting to 10 pounds are fairly slim. Now, I'm on what looks like about a 750-acre lake. And if this lake were set up with the right regulations, which it's not, this is a put-and-take lake. If it were set up with the right regulations that allowed enough releasing and enough growth of fish to, grow or engender a 10-pound trout, the thing you'd have to realize is that to get to that size, it would have to survive probably 10 seasons or more, depending on how much food there is. The odds of that are fairly slim. So, I mean, if this lake were set up with the proper regulations, there might be 5 to 10 fish in that size range on this lake. So the odds of you catching it are fairly low. So how do you defeat those odds? Well, number one, like I said, you do your research, you learn what you should be throwing at them, and you learn the time to be there. And then the other thing that helps put the odds a little more in your favor, you have to put in the time. Because that's the only way to get these things, is to get a fly in front of them. And when there aren't very many fish in a lake like this that are what you're looking for, it means you have to fish a lot just in order to get a fly in front of one of these guys. So those are the secrets. I mean, probably doesn't seem like much, but there's a lot more information in there than you think. So if you're looking for bigger fish, I mean, I'm wishing you all the luck in the world. Go out there and start researching. Find out where you're going to go, where the big fish tend to be. And then good luck to you. Hit that local fly shop. Get some local knowledge. See you guys later. See you out on the water.